All right, hello everybody. This is my first impressions video for Oculus Quest 3 or Meta Quest 3. I've been using this device a bit less than a day. We just received it today here in the office, and I already have a lot of thoughts. So treat this as an unconventional review because you won't hear here like all those standard review things which you probably hear a lot on other YouTube videos about the specs and standard things regarding what's new in this headset. If you're watching my channel, and probably you're in a minority so far, you already know all those things, right? And you're interested in some raw opinion, unbiased, unfiltered, unsponsored opinion about what do I think as the VR enthusiast, as someone who uses a lot of VR headsets and a lot of VR daily. What do I think about this headset? And boy, do I have a lot of thoughts after using it for several hours. So yeah, let's dive into it and see how it goes. So as I told you, I have received this headset today, and the first thing I did, of course, is I recorded an unboxing. One of the very surprising things for me was how small is the box. It's really small, and they managed to make it, to pack it in a very compact way with the controllers next to the headset. So that's nice, even though Amazon has brought it to me in a bigger box and then they stuffed paper into it. So while Meta tries to save the world, Amazon somehow just throw it in a bigger box and they just said, you got it. Anyways, very small box, amazing. Now I unboxed the headset. The first thing which greeted me was this head strap, this thingy. And like even on unboxing, I don't know, it just felt over, like it's nice. It's definitely an upgrade from Quest 2, but it feels a bit of over-engineered for what it is. I don't know how to explain it, but okay. So I unboxed it and I put it in my head, and the first thing I kind of had to do is the setup, right? So I had to go through the setup, and I fire up my phone. I connect to Wi-Fi, the normal stuff, and I open the MetaQuest app, and I'm met with an error. And I'm like, oh boy! And the error says something went wrong. Please restart, refresh. There was a new password or login or whatever. Please refresh the app. So I go to Play Store. I check if the app is updated. I see if there is an update. I update the app, and I fire it up again. And again, I'm met with an error. Again, something went wrong, says the message. So, all right, while I'm in a headset, I'm already trying to do the room setup and all this kind of stuff. And then I'm coming to a point where it says, scan your Wi-Fi with a QR code. And I kind of like put my phone in, and it's the headset somehow scans the code. Cool, it has connected to Wi-Fi, and then it starts updating, and it's updating and it's updating, and then it restarts. The headset restarts. I mean, all right, on an update cycle, it restarts once, it updates again, continues updating. It writes to me the software is being updated. Estimated time 3 dots. Applying update right now. It goes like this for 30 seconds and it restarts again. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. While in the app already tells me put in or type in the code you see in the headset. I see no code in the headset. Then it does the restart third time, fourth time, fifth time. On the 12th time, and I was really patient, on the 12th time, I said, okay, all right, I have to do a factory reset. So I do the factory reset of the headset. I do the full thing again from the scratch, and then it hits me that looks like the app doesn't want to work on Wi-Fi, but it works in 5G. So I switch from one Wi-Fi network where we are running in our offices in Sony. We're running on Starlink for a long time, or for more than a year already. It's amazing. and I can do a video about it later. But we're running on Starlink, and it looks like the app, the MetaQuest app, doesn't want to work with the Starlink when it's connected to the Starlink Wi-Fi. Even though every other app, we had zero problems on any other headset like Pico and others, and Vivalytics are, or within our normal day-to-day job. But somehow this app didn't want to connect to the Starlink. So I switched to a different network, and the update continues. So it goes through, and the problem solved. All right. And then I go through the tutorials, a little bit cumbersome, a little bit weird, a little bit too long. And I get to this first encounters game. So I get to the first encounters game, and I start playing it. It maps the environment. I have to say, it's similar to what PSVR did. To me, PSVR, given the lower resolution of the path-through, the PSVR mapping of the environment was more impressive. I don't know, I was just like, wow, okay, that's very nice. That's something new. So that's that. So it does the mapping quite accurately, I'd say. And then you're playing this first encounter. And of course, I see the path-through, right? And I'm trying to process, like, what do I think about this path-through? I look at my colleagues. I look here. I look at my hands. Immediately, I notice that it's wobbly. This kind of like distorted image all over the place. I also see latency. I also see the low FPS of the hands and the tracking of the hands. And I'm still processing and thinking like, what do I think about this path through? So the game starts, and the tracking of the objects is really nice. So they're not, when you're moving around, you don't see this jitter on this headset, and I guess LiDAR helps a lot in that. So the thingy. And I'm playing this game. It's nice. There's some inconsistencies. Obviously, those creatures are coming from something. Then you have the doors are not mapped correctly, so you have the creatures thinking, or the app thinks that the doors are the walls, things like this. But it's okay. Like, you can play it and it's fine. And then then we start testing the pass through, reading the phone. To me, reading the phone is unusable. You can see somehow what's there, but to actually type back, unusable. If I compare the pass-through for phone reading, the screen monitor reading, the Pico 4 is much better, because you don't have this wobbly, distorted image somehow in front of you. You have a clear, or semi-stereoscopic image on Pico 4, but it's clear. It's not wobbly. It's a lower resolution, but still you can see the phone better than on a Quest 3. So that's something I noticed right away. Then we started to test the hand tracking. The latency, again, is there. And I'm saying latency is there because I'm used to Ultraleap's hand tracking mainly on links, and just the latency is better. It's just it's a better hand tracking. Again, you call me biased. Obviously, we work with Ultraleap for VR1 headset, but and of course with links. But whenever you try it, you will probably notice. So the hand tracking is there. It's usable, but it's somehow like the latency is not there, and also the latency between the hands and stuff is crazy. So. And I'll edit into this video some pictures of through the lens videos. I try to take it through the lens, and then the video of pass-through is okay. I think one of the person they said on the Discord, like, the video of Quest 3, the pass-through video of Quest 3 is usable. Like, it's really usable. And I said, you know what, you're right. It's usable. It's not desirable. It's not great. It's usable. You can use it. You can even play some games in it, but you won't use it because you love it. You'll use it because maybe you want to play the game, most probably because you want to show off on Twitter and stuff and get a lot of likes, and that's pretty much it. And I started to think about it. I started to think about what it means. But before I go into this rant, before I go into the conclusions of this headset, I want to say about a few things about ergonomics. So now there's few people in the office, so I test the headset for like 10 minutes. I take it off, and immediately, first of all, I start feeling, while I'm using, I start feeling the head and here on this side. My ears are being cut by the strap like this. Ridiculous looking, but also pretty painful because of the strap here, and I can demonstrate it right there. So if I put it like this, my ear is immediately like that, and by the time like here, I was starting to feel the pain here and was going over my head, and it was becoming uncomfortable. And the moment I take it off, the headset, my colleagues are like, "Ha!" I was like, "What's going on?" And they said like, "You have the red line around your face, like a very vivid one." I'm like, "Oh my god!" So I made a picture. I'll show you the picture. I'll edit it in. So then I give it to my colleagues, right? So the one guy tries it in, plays around, does this tutorial and does this first encounter stuff. Also give his opinion, takes it off. The red line around the face, like really vivid. I'm like, oh man, I have to make a picture. So I'm making a picture. I'll put it in as well here. Another person takes in, plays around, says, yeah, why? Okay. And that another user is the Pico 4 user. And the first colleague who was using it is the Quest 2 user. And I am a Pico 4 and Index and VR1 and other users. So we're kind of like very well balanced here. And the Quest 2 colleague says like it's uncomfortable, but the image is better than Quest 2, of course. The Pico 4 colleague says like the pass-through is better than Pico 4, but again, it's a bit wobbly and all those artifacts. Just like the image is not clear and distorts all the time, and it creates like a very very strange thing. All three of us, we have noticed that we feel a special eye strain. That after we took it off, the eyes, we had to readjust the eyes quite a lot, and we had to and I saw it on the colleague because he took it off, and I saw he's doing like this, and I was like, oh, eye strain, and he says yes. I feel the eye strain much more than the Quest 2 and much more than the Pico 4. Pico 4 is very clear, like they've done an amazing job there. For just taking on sweet spot and you're just there, no eye strain, no adjustment. So we do all those games, and we finish and we make the pictures of our red lines, and then we start kind of talking about like, okay, we start testing Pico 4 right next to Quest 3, pass through just one another. And while pass through on Quest 3 is more vivid, like there is more contrast. There's more contrast in the image. It's still grainy. It's better than it used to be, and it's slightly better than Pico 4, but it's still grainy. It's nothing where you would say like, wow, this is incredible. The first encounter is nice. It shows you potential, but it doesn't give you this, in my opinion, it doesn't give you the drug to wanting to come back and play those games all over the place, because the tracking of the environment is not perfect. The image quality is okay, but not perfect. And the overall ergonomics and stuff, it's just not perfect. It's usable. Again, it's usable. Is it an upgrade from Quest 2? Of course. I mean, this is like Apple saying like, we've done the best iPhone we've ever done. Surely it's better than before. We all hope for it. So that's kind of where we kind of came to conclusion. Now, this is 500 euros in Europe, right? And while it's more expensive than Quest 2, it comes with this thingy, and you definitely need, if you want to use this thing for longer than 15 minutes, I guarantee you need an Elite strap or hard strap, and they sell it for $150. Let's say you buy one for 100 as a third party or something. So you're at 600 already, and batteries in front, so you are basically it's front heavy. You can feel it. It's front heavy headset. You have to push it back, and it's there. One more thing I want to also say about the lenses: they are nice, but I do still see a Mura effect. This kind of if you look at the bright object or bright sky and you move your head, the clouds are staying still, but this how to even describe, like people who know, they know, but for those who don't know, it's like a like a pixelated screen door effect, which moves with you moving, but the objects are still staying. It was very vivid on PSVR 2. To me, the PSVR 2, because of this, was almost unusable, and it's still visible here. And is it a deal breaker? I don't think so. Are the lenses and the screens a bit brighter than Pico 4? Yes, they are. Is the resolution better? No, I think the resolution is better on Pico 4 because you don't see that huge screen door effect there. And is the field of view bigger on Pico 4? In my opinion, it feels like it is. Like I don't know why, but it feels like it is. Maybe because it's more ergonomic to me. But don't forget, Pico 4 gives you the battery and a hard strap right out of the box, right? So this is the Pico 4. This is the Pico 4 Enterprise. It's the same as Pico 4 with just, it has eye tracking and face tracking. And we kind of looked at those devices together with the colleagues and with the guys, and we're like, it's incredible. This is 1 year old device. They were so much ahead of Meta with these devices. And it's super tiny. If I take this mask off, it's super tiny, and it's well engineered. It's an amazing device. And yeah, Quest 3 is heavier. Like, it is heavier, even without the battery strap. Like even without this Elite strap, it feels heavier and it feels bigger, while it's probably the same size, or I'd say if you compare it like this, it's it's kind of, I would say it's tiny bigger, at least from my opinion. So yeah, what's my conclusion? Okay, stop renting, start giving us information, Arthur. Okay, so what's my conclusion? Is it worth the money? Oh, 100% it is. Because if you are on Quest 2 and you want to have a better experience, you probably have to buy, this plus the Elite strap. Because without that, it's, in my opinion, unusable. This strap is just nonsense to me. Over-engineered nonsense. Okay, you can quote me. Is it worth $600 or euros? I think so. I think it's still cheap, given the hardware it has. Why do I think so? Because I think, it's still being subsidized. So, am I a fan of Meta ecosystem, and especially the menus? Like, the setup process, it took me, let's say, even if I wouldn't have those problems in the beginning, it took me 15 minutes or like 10-15 minutes to get into the actual gameplay. And then, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that. When I turned on Pico, and I had to use the mobile phone with it. This is another pain. It's a standalone device. Just don't bother me with mobile phone apps. Let me start playing things right away, and maybe later tell me, hey, do you want to connect to your Facebook account? Do you want to do that? Do you want to do this? But let me start playing from the device. Don't force me into the mobile phone app. On Pico 4, I can register. I can log in directly in the Pico app inside the device. Don't force me to do these things. I don't want to do these things. I want to start playing. I want a frictionless experience. Friction is the hot word. And I want to start playing right away. And why do I want this? Because all other people want this. Because the person who goes through this hassle to get into this headset, they'll just say like, oh my God, I'm not using this again. I'm returning this. If we want to onboard a lot of people into VR, this has to be solved. Okay, stop the rant. What do I think about the controllers? They're okay. I had to say there's no particular thought I had about them. They're nice. Do I like them because they don't have any rings? I don't think so. I actually never minded rings. I explained it in my Pico 4 review. So if you didn't look at it, just have a look and find it. Do they look premium? I'd say they look medium premium. Like, they don't look fully premium, but they do. Like, this plastic part, like this upper part, just looks a bit cheap. Otherwise, they look quite nice. So in terms of ergonomics, big question because of the face mask putting you on a lot of strain on you. The screens are nice. They're quite bright. The lenses are nice, but the mirror effect is there. So the screen door effect, you can see it. Yeah, battery life kind of dying too fast on me. I will charge it and then it was dying. So I was at 10% again. I had to charge again. Charged like 50, then it was dying again. I gave my kids to try the demos and first encounters. My kids actually, I asked them like, okay, they're 10 and 7, and I said, so guys, what do you think? And it's like, oh, okay, they were playing first encounter. It was fun. They said, yeah, it was fun. I said, like, what do you think about the being able to see the flat? And they said, yeah, it's nice, but the resolution is a little bit, like the quality of image is a bit low. That's what the 10-year-old told me. I was like, okay. And mind you, he never saw like VR1 resolution of faster or something like that. He just tells me this as a raw experience. So that's interesting that he mentioned this. And overall, I think if you are on a Pico 4, there's no reason whatsoever to change to Quest 3, in my opinion. There's no reason. Like, literally wait. Because Pico 4 has slightly higher resolution, great displays, good lenses, good experience, great stuff. If you're on Quest 2 and you want better, I think you could, but it's a question. Because it depends, why do you do it? Do you want high resolution? Is that important for you? Because I don't think you will notice that much, honestly. Like, it's visible, but in the games where you are in the action, you won't notice that much. So if you're on Quest 2, it's, if you have money to spend, probably, yeah, upgrade, put your Elite strap. It's $600 and you're probably settled for a good VR experience. For sure, it will be a good VR experience. The ergonomics, probably there'll be some third-party face covers, so you'll have to invest a little bit more to get this really solid experience. If you're on a PC VR headset, like if you're on, I don't know, like even on Index, is it the reason for PC VR games to do that? No, I think get yourself Pico 4 virtual desktop and you're golden. Do I think you need to? Do I think it's worth, like, the resolution jump is worth the upgrading for like flight simulators and stuff? I would say no. Stay on your Vario Aeros and the Reverb G2s. I think you'll be great. In terms of the IPD, not IPD, but the field of view, I didn't measure it yet with the app, but from the feeling, just because I measure it so much, I think I'm around about like 105. So around about Pico, but Pico felt a little bit more. Anyway, it's around Pico resolution, so we're like getting that direction. So it's fine. It's fine. The resolution here is fine. So overall, it is a solid headset, quite a bit more expensive than Pico 4. Ergonomics is the big question. And yeah, I mean, what do I say overall about this? It's a good effort, but I'm still amazed that Pico 4 has been able to do this much earlier, 1 year earlier than Quest 3. So that feels a little bit like, if this would come out last year with Pico 4, perfect. That would be a perfect timing, and it would all say like, great, there's a competition, great headset, good timing, 2022, But in 2023, especially, Apple Vision Pro coming into play, I feel like this is a bit too late. It's a bit too late, because there is already some, different variants of other headsets which are coming already there. And yeah, I mean, if you're invested in Meta ecosystem, go for it. If you have $600 to spend, if you're on Quest 2 and you don't have that much money to spend, spare money, you're good. Like, if you're on Quest 2, you are not left over. Like, this is Quest 2.5, I'd say personally. That's not like Quest 3, So you're fine. If you're on Quest 2 and you have all those, Elite straps and you invested in this, you probably are getting great experience from your Quest 2. So maybe wait. But yeah, that's it. What I have for today. Definitely respectable effort from Meta. I don't want to, I want to diminish the amount of engineering which went into this. It's a good sneak peek of what's coming into mixed reality, but that's not your holy grail mixed reality where people would want to use it. They will use it because they can, and they will use it because it's usable, but it's not because it's amazing and super great. You will maybe first encounter some things, you will impress some people with it, but I don't think it will sell that many because of those experiences. It probably will sell well because people will want to upgrade from Quest 2, and there's a lot of Quest 2 users who will want to migrate. So I think that these are the numbers, but it will probably sell less than Quest 2, in my opinion. And that's where I would end this video. Thank you for watching. Again, lots of rant, probably very long, but hey, that's my channel. I can do whatever I want. So thank you, and see you next time.